just get this party started. And I'll say that I watched The Mummy
I
recently,
did
and I was
too.
like,
How often do we both actually watch the movie that we say we're going to talk about?
almost never. I usually
Mhm.
don't. If I've seen it before, I'm like, I'll remember.
Yeah.
Which
Sometimes,
is
even when we're supposed
sometimes
to watch a new
true.
movie, it, we don't always end up making it that far.
Mm-mm.
I had something I was going to tell you. I was really excited. Oh my gosh. I remember. I had a
Yes.
dream last night. I put my reminder ring on. I'm going to move it over now. Um, I dreamt last night that I was watching How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey version, the one that means the most to me. And I remember there was a scene in it where the Grinch was contemplating suicide. It's not funny. Kind of is. He had a pistol, and it was like right after the scene where he was like, "Am I just eating because I'm bored?" And he was chewing on the glass bottle, and then he went up and got the pistol and was like sucking on it. And I was like, I don't remember this.
Whoa.
First of all, because that's a little dark for the Grinch that I remember, but also it was weirdly sexual.
Yeah, it sounds like it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all I needed to catch you
Uh,
up on.
it's incredible what the brain will come up with.
It really is. It went on for a very long time too. I feel like you should know that. Like
It was too long.
way longer than the scene called for. Even if that was an appropriate scene to have in the original movie, that it was like, I mean, well over 3 full minutes.
Mm. Yeah, it's way too long.
Way too long.
But you survived that, and here we are. So that's great.
And I'm arguably stronger than ever. I
I
had
can't
the
prove otherwise, so yeah,
mm-mm.
I think we're good.
I know you told me you're eating tomatoes. I know you told me that, but I just popped some Skittles in my mouth. I was like, that is the most enormous Skittle I've ever seen.
I got a bunch of red Skittles. I melted them together and molded them into the shape of a beautiful garden fresh cherry tomato. So I could trick people into thinking I'm eating healthy, but I'm really eating candy. I will say that my brother Ian, who you've met, whom it might not ring a bell because you didn't hang out all that much. You don't have a lot in common. But he, one time when he was a child, we have this cousin. We have several cousins. We have this cousin named Carl Steven. And Carl Steven was eating cherry tomatoes and told my brother Ian, who was a little baby boy at the time, probably like 4 years old or something, that it was candy. He
Oh,
got so excited and he was like, can I have some candy? And so Carl Steven was like, here you go, and gave him cherry tomatoes. And he was 4, so he was expecting candy, not just something that's
candy.
delicious, but something that's like really sugary. You know, he's expecting the taste of Skittles.
Yeah.
He gets the taste of tomatoes. It's acidic.
Oh,
He's like,
pops in your mouth like a zit.
and he, at the age of 28, is trying to like reverse wean himself. Like he's trying to get himself into liking tomatoes. Because ever since that event, he's been traumatized by tomatoes. Because he's
Ian,
like,
your brother who doesn't like tomatoes.
Ian, my brother, who doesn't like tomatoes. Yeah, yeah. He
Oh yeah,
likes to
no.
cook them. He likes them in things, but he's like, I just don't really love a fresh tomato. And me, I've never understood that. I'm like, this is basically candy. But I
Good
can't
thing
say
you
that
can
too
say
loud.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not to change the subject, but do you want to hear what happened to me today?
Yes.
Don't choke on that. Um, he's fine. um, so there's Noah, right, at work, and he works in the
Mhm.
back with the press team, and he comes up to chat with us sometimes. He's one
Mhm.
of the only ones who does, which is fine because I don't.
You don't like
I've
any of
been
the other ones.
no, and I've been doing
Yeah.
origami, so
Oh,
I put
that's
my headphone
nice.
in and listen to The Office and just learn how to fold a pumpkin, and I'm happy. I'm fine. Like, I have Jen next to me and we talk sometimes, and that's fine. But, you know, he comes up and chats, and that's okay. He thinks we should defund the Department of Education, and that's whatever. But I was kind of joking with him a little bit. I was like, you should tell the rest of the press team that they should leave early so that we also can leave early. I was joking, right? Like, my
It's the
only
kind
job
of
is
thing,
to man
like,
the front
yeah,
desk.
with
Like,
a coworker, you'd be like, hey, we should, you know, it's always like the dream. You're like imagining a world in which you could leave work early.
exactly.
In
Yeah.
camaraderie. Yeah.
Yeah. To bond with. And right at the moment, Catherine, who runs the press team, she's like super in charge, but she's also the nicest person in the world. She comes up to ask us a question. And right at that moment, like 2 minutes after I was like joking with him about this, he was like, hey, Catherine, these guys had a question. Is it okay if we leave a little bit earlier today so they can also head out a little bit early?
No.
Completely straight. Jen and I both look at each other
And
like,
to start with, like, Whitney wants to know if she like
Mom, my friend is hungry.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, couldn't you just say that you were also hungry?
Like,
I call me the Grinch because I'm contemplating.
Ellie, it was so humiliating. It was so bad because she was like, I don't think that's the best idea. We've had problems with staff assistants leaving early in the past. Hi, buddy. For this reason and this reason, like, I'm not your boss, but like, I wouldn't recommend it for these reasons. And the whole time I was like, just mortified, like
Like, I
staring
can't
off
believe
into
you'd
the
say
distance.
that.
Like, no, like, what?
No.
First of all, I was so obviously kidding, but also, like, you say it with us right there in front of you?
I know. He picked you up with one hand and threw you under the bus at full speed.
Yeah. He might have even been driving the bus.
Yeah.
Who knows?
He's a brilliant multitasker, that one.
And he was trying to be like a friend about it. He's like, oh, I'll do that thing you asked me to do. And thankfully, Catherine came up later in the day to ask us a different question. And I was like, I caught her immediately. I was like, Catherine, you need to know. I didn't ask him to do that. I was joking. And she was like, yeah, I kind of figured that after I left. I was like, that was kind of a weird thing. But so we're good. Catherine's fine about it, but still.
Okay. Phew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
That's an
same
odd.
guy, too. The other day we were talking about movies. He's the only person who will talk about movies with me. So I have to put up with the Department of Education stuff if I want someone to talk about, like,
Right.
you know,
Like,
film with me.
I can excuse wanting to defund the Department of Education, but I draw the line at not liking movies.
But we were talking about like cheesy movies, right? And I was like, I love cheesy movies. You need that sometimes. Like, a movie needs to accept that about itself sometimes. It doesn't, you don't need the snarky, like, irony poisoned joke. And he's like, yeah, I'm half convinced that most of the haters out there who don't like cheesy movies are just lactose intolerant. And I laughed because, like,
Nice.
yeah,
It's kind of funny.
yeah, I liked it. I was like, yeah, that's a good point. And then he laughed and was like, that's so funny. You laughed, but you didn't even get it. I made the joke because, like, cheese, they're allergic to cheese. And I was like, huh?
Huh?
I got it, Noah. He's like, oh, the lactose intolerant. I was like, uh-huh. He's like, because of the cheese? I was like, yeah. That was the whole joke, Noah. And I spent the whole rest of the day confused by that. Like, he made a joke and I laughed at it, and then he thought that I didn't get the joke because I laughed at it. I was so confused. No, it doesn't.
What does he think? Like, it wasn't a very complicated joke.
No, it was very
There wasn't like a lot to get. It was one joke to get. And I don't understand how he could, like, in the way that you laughed, he's like, oh, she's faking it. She didn't really get the joke. Like,
no,
how could you tell? What?
I mean, it might have been because it wasn't super sincere, because I try not to bond with these people very much. But like, it was a chuckle. I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good point. But, like, probably just like that. I like.
Oh, and then he's like, no, I wasn't actually making a real point. It was actually a pun.
Oh, see, now that makes
Mhm.
more sense.
Now
Yeah.
that's a play on words. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. I
Wow.
love the people I work with.
Yeah, they all seem so fun. I'm so excited to meet them. Anyway, do you want to talk
We'll talk
about
about the
Brendan
movie.
Fraser now?
I want to talk about Brendan Fraser so bad. So bad, so
Yay!
bad, so bad. He's my best friend. I love him so much. So much.
As I
Um,
was watching the movie, I was like, oh, I should talk about this. But of course, I didn't write them down because I was watching the movie. So we'll see how many I remember.
oh well, I didn't write anything down because I also was watching the movie. So,
Nice.
but
Perfect.
good news is I've seen the movie plenty of times, and I'm sure you have seen the movie plenty of times. That we, I,
I've
between
seen
the two
it.
of
I'll
us,
remember. And
there's a lot to it.
also,
Yeah,
I think we were also planning on this. It's the Mummy. Like we were planning on
it's
it being a
the
kind of chill,
mummy.
silly, goofy time.
Yes, we
Like
did
we
this
don't
on
have to have
purpose.
like points. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna be okay. I think the E and M can stand for, don't freak out, Egyptian mummy. Whoa.
Oh, I was thinking Magi, but I like that. I'm quickly writing down some of my own thoughts. Um, that's kind of dumb, but the thought for S came to my head as a sexy mummy,
Hmm.
and then um, and that's all I have to contribute here to this conversation.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, kind of a little bit everyone in this movie is sexy.
So
Somebody had
much.
to say
Every
it.
single person,
Like, sorry,
literally.
but it's true.
Who missed? Name a single character who missed. I'll wait.
I mean, it's like the more you think about it, the more you're like, well, actually, you know.
Yes, yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, maybe the like prison warden who goes and then dies early on.
Maybe.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
it.
I think even Benny has his own appeal. Not for me personally. I know
Yeah,
some
but
of you
it's
guys might
like
have been thinking that, considering my history. But
go for it. You know what I mean? Like I can see
yes.
why somebody would, you know.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's what we're saying with Benny.
Like Benny, I mean, Brendan Fraser is there.
Rachel Weisz is there. They're on screen together a lot of the
They
time.
are
Think
a
about
lot of the
that.
time. Ardith Bay, the character Ardith Bay. End of sentence.
Think about that.
I do often.
So we just need something that starts with the letter T. And I think we could even do, since you're saying sexy mummy, I'm saying Egyptian mummy. We could just do something that starts with a T that also describes the mummy, and then it's all three adjectives. Treacherous could be
Mhm.
one.
He is. He does do that. He does do some treachery.
He engages in treachery for sure.
Uh-huh. Um, what if instead of sexy, he's a simp?
That's also very true.
Equally as true as him being,
Yeah.
but
Not a lot of people can strike that balance. So it's a little bit
yeah,
impressive.
yeah.
But I think we are less likely to use the word simp in another video. So maybe we get
Mhm.
it out here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
We don't watch a lot of things with simps.
No, not really. Not even The Simpsons, frankly. No, you didn't
Okay.
get it. I was saying it's funny how you laughed, but you didn't get it.
Wait, explain the
Because
joke?
like so the word simp is like well you used it earlier. You know the word simp.
Yeah, I know the word simp,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but you
And
said
then
Simpsons. That's not even
The
really connected.
Simpsons, it's like the word simp but with sons added to the end of it to make it one
Oh,
word.
I get that. That's pretty funny.
So it's like the word
That's
simp is
like,
in the word Simpsons.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, that's like a pun.
Yeah, exactly. It's a play on words.
I got it. Amazing.
Yay!
Okay, yay.
The issue is that the only other word with a T that I can think of is tarpaulin. It's not even part of the movie at all.
No,
Not even a little bit.
the only T word that I can think is thought. So what are we? What are we doing here, Olivia?
Yours works better than mine though, because mine isn't in the movie. But yours applies to the mummy and to Brendan Fraser. Simp thought, that's both of them.
That's they both characters, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Simp
Maybe you
thought
can.
Egyptian money.
Simp thought Egyptian mummy. It's almost like a face off between them.
And I get that one because that's funny because people's faces melt off in this movie. Did I get the joke?
That's so funny. And because a face off is like a duel between two people, and those people in the movie are fighting.
We're so funny.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's okay if you guys didn't get it. It's like really
Yeah, it was
complex.
kind of complex, but
Yeah.
we're here to walk you through it. You know, that's what we do.
Yeah. Okay, well, The Mummy.
Yes.
We've all seen it.
Mhm. Unless
we all need to see it.
we all need to see it. Some of us may not have seen it if we don't watch old movies, which are pre 9/11, and then we may not have seen it.
Mm-hmm. Some people, like my friend Kennedy, who when we were on a study abroad together, I found out that she had never seen it right before we were going on a field trip. And it just so happened to be like an hour and 15 minutes one way. So just enough time to watch the full The Mummy.
The Mummy,
In that one in the return trip. So I made her sit by me instead of the person she was going to sit next to. And I have it downloaded on my phone always, obviously. So
it's an essential.
Yes, like
it's
water
like,
or chapstick.
Yeah, it's like phone, wallet, keys, water, chapstick, The Mummy, 1999. Hello?
Yes. Obviously. Yeah. So The Mummy, for those of you who have not seen it, which like I know we say this about almost every movie that we talk about, but please, please watch this movie. Your life will be so much better if you do. I promise. It's like, stop trying to drink my milk. I don't know what's happening tonight.
The thing about this movie, this is something that I was thinking about over the course of when I was rewatching it most recently, because in preparation for this, sometimes we have ridiculous ideas about how past people and foreign people do things. You know, like you see, like, for example, a chair from like 4,000 years ago. And historians will be like, oh, it was a religious artifact. It was like an object for fertility. And it's like, I think it might have been a chair, bud. I think it's a chair for sitting on when you don't want to stand anymore. You know? I like kind of those kind of things where we tend to like mysticize these things when they're like Eastern or when they're old or whatever. So ancient Egypt is like the perfect, it's both old and not Western, you know? So they kind of go together. So you might think, oh, this movie is just so like, it's leaning into all those stereotypes. It's probably super offensive. And the thing is, like, it's actually funny though. That was the first thing I thought. Like, it only a movie.
It only a movie. And we quote that almost every day.
It only a movie.
It only a movie. And at best, it's commentary on how we mysticize these things too much. You gotta be big brained about it. You gotta be like, this is speaking on the myths of Egyptian curses.
Literally.
Because in real life, people would go to pyramids and whatever, they'd like dig up people's graves, and then they'd all get sick and die. And so the legend was, oh, it's because it's a curse, because the ancient Egyptians were so mystical and they believed in all these gods and whatever. And like, sure, maybe they did, but also the curse was like, you just unearthed like thousands of years of bacteria. that haven't surfed. You know what I mean? Like, of course you
And
got
also
sick.
a curse just from disturbing someone who was sleeping.
Exactly. You're desiccating somebody's grave. You're bringing up all these like toxins and bacteria. Yeah, like what do you expect? So maybe it's like a real curse because of the gods, and maybe it's a curse of like your hubris. Don't do that,
like
right?
how God sent the plagues of Egypt because of a volcano erupting somewhere else, and then all of these things happened as a domino effect later.
Right.
Both can be true.
Two things can be true. It's okay for two things to be true. And I think this movie, like, as much as it does kind of lean into like the ancient Egypt stereotype of like we're gonna discover a mummy and ooh, you know, it also like isn't saying that that's what it's like. It's saying like imagine if that was what it was like.
Yeah.
Right.
It says, hey, look, listen, you watching
It's a
the
movie.
I want you to take Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz's hands, and I want you to walk with
Okay.
them through this story. Like, grab him before you're even done talking.
Yeah. Like, I don't even care. I'm in.
Yay!
Yay!
That remains true to this day. Hi.
Anyway, we were talking about Rachel Weisz. I think.
Baby. Oh, I remember. Roger Ebert, who is a famous enemy of mine. Not arch enemy. He's not on my list, but
no. But it's just like you don't have to like everybody.
No, I don't. And I certainly don't have to like pretentious film critics who don't like Home Alone. You are on the wrong side of history, friend. But
that's like a famously beloved movie. People who haven't seen it have heard of it and know that it's good, you know?
Yes. Yeah. And it allowed an even better movie to be brought into creation, which is Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Think about that.
I don't think we're ready for the discussion about how that one's better than the original, but
we can save it for another time.
Day.
Yeah.
Just note that that's true.
By the way, when you see me laugh and move and you see that little basket right there, it's full of clean clothes. I just didn't put them away.
Yay!
So let it be known. I want it on the record. Those are clean. They've been there all week. And they're going to stay there.
Oh, wait.
We're not done yet. We have to talk about the movie.
Roger Ebert. He
said,
Mummy. He said, there's hardly a thing I can say in its favor except that I enjoyed every second of it. And there you go. That's all. Even he can have such a wild amount of unrestrained summer fun watching a movie,
then it must be a good movie. It's like when two enemies can come together and bond over like a shared interest, like you know the story of the soldiers like playing soccer together on Christmas.
Yes.
If that can happen, it's a good movie, or that it's Christmas. Yeah. And it's not Christmas.
You about the Grinch.
Stop it! It's not Christmas.
If I had any artistic skills, I would draw it out to make you see it too.
I don't want to. Thanks.
Well, now I'm going to.
No.
I'll see if I can sketch it out real quick.
The good news for me is that you have that in your notebook forever now.
You know that innocuous question I asked you about what kind of t-shirt you wanted, though?
Are you going to put that on it?
I might. I might get really good at drawing over the next couple of months.
So you can make suicidal Grinch t-shirts. Bilbo Baggins meme. After all, I shouldn't die. If you can like find a way to mix those together, so it's like the format, the kind of look, where he's like peering over, the look of After All, Why Shouldn't I? But it's the Grinch holding a gun. That would be actually excellent.
Oh no, I've got to get really
we should sell that as merch.
Yeah, new rule. Merch designs can't be things we say on camera. They have to be visioned up via dream.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cover him up real quick. We're
Yeah, you
talking
gotta
about the
shield the
mummy.
boys.
Yeah.
We're talking about the mummy.
Talking about the mummy.
And it's a good, fun movie. And
It
you
is
don't have to take it
good.
too seriously because it's
No.
not saying that this is what we believe that Egypt is like. It's saying, what if it was like that? What if when people talked about
Yeah.
curses, it was way worse? And so they do it. That's fun.
In fact, they want you to not take it too seriously. There's a reason that Brendan Fraser was cast. Is coming off his
Mhm.
wild success of George of the Jungle, another strangely fantastic movie. I hadn't seen it until I was an adult, and when I watched it, I was like, "Damn, this was a kids movie.
Mhm.
They got this quality back then. Where's my adult quality now? Like, it's good.
Yeah.
You should also watch that one, but watch this one first and most." Where he's like, he's kind of campy. He doesn't take himself so seriously, but he is the most beautiful person you've ever seen. That
Ever.
is a
Like,
fact.
literally ever. And you might be like,
Yeah.
it can't be. No, really.
No, we mean it. And the thing about these people too is like every single person in the movie adds to the beauty of the people around them. Sometimes someone is so beautiful they make everyone else around them look gross.
Mhm.
Not the case here. Brendan Fraser stands next to Ardith Bay, stands next to Rachel Weisz, stands
Mhm.
next to Imhotep the Mummy.
And they all somehow get even beautifuler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's the main point. If you can take home any message about this movie, I want you to take home that everybody is so sexy.
Yay!
Everybody. Yay! Oh my gosh, it's so good. I'm gonna watch it again after we get done here. Okay. So Imhotep is a mummy, and he was in love with Anck-su-namun, who was the wife of Pharaoh. And they were in love. She also was beautiful and covered only in body paint, so that Pharaoh would know if anyone else touched her. And then he caught them having an affair, and so she sent Imhotep away and was like, "You're the only one who can bring me back." And then she said, "My body is no longer his temple." And then she stabs herself. She does.
And this is the beginning of the movie.
First 2 minutes. Yeah. She
Yeah.
kills herself, and he has to watch. But then they take her body. Oh, they both kill Pharaoh too. I forgot to mention that.
Oh, right.
They kill
He
him
kind of
together.
he doesn't matter in this movie.
No, and that's such a cute date idea. Like, aw, let's kill a guy together. That's sweet. So he takes her and is going to bring her back, but then the Pharaoh's guards caught him and prevented him from finishing the spell. And so instead, they were like, "We're gonna curse him with the sickest ass curse ever known to man." But it's like super scary, and so they'd never done it before. But they were
It's super
like,
scary. They're like,
so
we've never
bad.
done it before, but I'm sure it'll work. And also, if he ever comes back to life, it will be absolutely devastating and destroy the world, but that probably won't happen.
Yeah. And just killing him slowly and painfully isn't enough. We're gonna
We're gonna kill him slowly and painfully forever.
And give him sick powers.
And give him curse powers that are actually way cool. So it's kind of like, why though? Like,
yeah,
they give him a mech for some reason. Like, he could have just died, but they're like, no. In the event that you come back, you're gonna be better than ever, dude.
I don't know if I ever told you this, but I, in a fever dream one night, had the idea of like a mummy style curse where they're doomed to come back a monster, but the curse is only just having huge boobs. Like Gandalf's big naturals.
Yeah.
Just Imhotep walking around with like
he's like exactly the same, but he's just like double E's.
Yeah.
And everything else is the same.
Everything else is the same. He's got, and I'm sorry, like he's got pretty good titties as it is. He's covered in baby oil. They like, I think that the character of Baladeva from Bahubali was kind of modeled after Imhotep the mummy because he's very rarely wearing anything at all. Definitely not a shirt. Covered in baby oil, and his pecs are huge.
he's like kind of heard of a shirt. He's like, that's for other people.
Yeah, he kind of drapes it like off his shoulders a little bit. So when he's like walking around,
He's like, Mom, I'm wearing it. It's like when your mom is like, wear your jacket, it's cold outside. And you're like, that's what he's doing. Like,
yeah.
Technically, it's on my body. So
the priest, my lord, please wear the cloak. And he's
they're like, oh my gosh, put those things away. Yeah. So that's him.
That's him. I did
Yeah.
read something interesting about the curse itself. It went into more detail in the novelization, apparently, which I've never read. I'm here for the movie. If I'm not looking at these people, then I don't care about them.
Right. It's like, why would I read that? A
Yeah,
lot of things
no.
are better read, but not everything.
No, and certainly not this. But the detail is that the scarabs that they pour into his coffin and seal him up, it's not just that they're going to eat him and then he'll die. It's they'll eat him and then he'll get so desperate that he'll eat the scarabs and then they'll eat him again, and they're just locked in this vicious cycle over and over again of eating each other forever and ever. And that's why when they open his sarcophagus up, he's still juicy because they've just been eating each other the whole time. And I don't know if it's just my cannibalism thing that I've got on since last year, but like that's sick as hell, right?
Yeah,
it's not
that's
cannibalism,
really good.
but like doomed to feast upon each other for all eternity. Sick.
That's awesome.
Okay, yeah, it was cool enough before, but with that added detail, I'm like, oh hell yeah, brother. Yeah.
Okay.
That's great. That's great. So he comes back. There's a lot of hijinks. It really doesn't matter for our purposes. Just watch the movie. Like the only thing
honestly, like, is just...
there's nothing even to analyze because it's just
kind of like goofs for a lot of it.
Yeah,
there's a lot of really great fights with like fun stunts, and you can tell that the people who choreographed it and did it were like, yay, it looks fun to do. And the thing is, like, stunts? So Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz, they meet each other and they instantly are like, I'm in love with you.
In real life, they're characters in the movie, but also in real life.
And that's beautiful. Because they're like, it's not like a slow burn. It's like the whole time you're like, okay, just what, like everybody knows, and they don't really try to fight it. She like gets drunk one time and she's like, I'm gonna kiss you, but then she passes out. But then for the rest of the movie, they're like, yay, we're a couple. Like they don't bring it up. It happens so naturally and so instantly.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
Like, yeah, he kisses her, but he's being kind of a brute because he's been in prison and he also hasn't had a haircut and a shave.
He's kissing her once out of desperation because he thinks it's like his last day on Earth or whatever. But then she like can't stop thinking about it. And she's like, oh, it wasn't even that good of a kiss. Or was it?
But he's like taken with her, obviously, because she's Rachel Weisz. But also she's like kind of dorky and so passionate and knows so much about everything. Like, you know that Leslie Knope quote where she's like, men are really into women who are better than them at the thing that they love. And it's played as like this totally crazy thing to say of like, obviously not. But then Ben Wyatt is like, she's the coolest. She's so much better at this than I am. It's like same vibes where she's like, I know literally everything there is to know about everything. And he's like, damn girl, all right, you single? Yeah. And I haven't seen
and her brother's there.
And her brother's there. Obviously, look, okay, have you guys seen The Jungle? You know that one? The Jungle Cruise? I don't even know what it's called. It has Dwayne The Rock Johnson in it.
The one with The Rock in it and Emily Blunt?
Yeah, that one.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen like promo and stuff. Yeah.
If you've seen this one, you have seen what that one tried to do. They even had the library scene, like shot for shot in that one too.
The one where she's like, and accidentally knocks down a shelf, and then for some bizarre reason, the library is set up where all the shelves are not secured by anything, and they're set up in like a perfect domino circle. So if one thing falls, then everything falls, and you almost like crush yourself and die. Yeah,
but then she's just like, whoopsie. But it's not like I made a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's like fine.
Yeah. I love her so much because she's like a little bit clumsy, but so capable. The only reason that she's a little clumsy in this one is because she has no field experience, which
Mhm.
her time in the field and being taken by a mummy like cures. She has so much
Mhm.
field experience now, it's literally insane.
Yeah.
I like she's awesome. She's so really like she's so competent, but also has so much personality. They didn't try to make her like girl boss or CEO-ified. She's just like,
Mhm.
I am a librarian and I'm literally so badass for that.
Mhm.
And she's right.
And she's like, what makes me cool is like I'm not cool in spite of being a librarian. It's actually the
Mhm.
source of my powers. Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
that's
then Brendan
true
Fraser
because
is like, because how could you not?
yeah, kicking
That's
his
like the
feet
only
and
appropriate
giggling.
response to that. Yeah.
Yeah. And her brother Jonathan sitting there like, where did Ardith Faye go? I literally have to sit here with this next to me. He's so sick of them. He also, by the way, this is another thing that Jungle Cruise tried to copy is the gay brother. He's obviously
Mhm.
gay. They don't talk about it in this one,
They
but
don't
like you
talk
can
about
tell.
it. But
No,
it's
in the
like,
Jungle Cruise, they
yeah.
tried to make such a big thing out of it, where he was like Disney's 10,000th first openly gay character ever, but he's just like,
right.
I didn't get married to women, kind of a thing, you know? Yeah, no, it's a
You're
bad
like,
movie. It's a
oh,
bad movie.
shocker. Yeah. Okay.
Wow, that's crazy. I think they were hoping it's literally like if Pirates of the Caribbean had a baby with the Mummy,
Mhm.
but
Something went wrong.
they dropped it or something. I don't know. It's really bad. It's
Oh,
so
no.
bad. It's so
Oh,
bad.
no.
One day we'll talk about it, maybe. I won't ever make you watch it.
Okay,
I'll just
thank
tell you
you.
what I remember from it. I'm not watching it again, certainly.
No,
But
gross.
like the whole time I
Because
was watching it, I was
listen,
like, this is
you
the
shouldn't
Mummy.
waste your time watching something that you don't like.
No.
Do
Don't
something
hate watch.
else. Think about the
No.
amount of time that you have on Earth and how people are so desperately trying to like not age so quickly, and you're gonna spend your time hate watching something? Gross. Read a book.
Boo. Eat a cherry
Eat some
tomato.
strawberries. Exactly. Start a
Thank
garden
you.
or something. Like do something
Yeah.
useful.
More,
What are you
most
doing
importantly,
watching something that
watch
makes you
the
cringe?
Mummy.
Watch The Mummy.
Watch the Mummy.
Watch something fun that you enjoy.
It's so fantastic. Imhotep the Mummy, he
Mhm.
eats a bunch of Americans to regain his strength and regenerate
He
into a
does.
sexy hot person because he starts out as a mummy and he's like gross and crusty and
He's like
juicy.
shriveled. Yeah.
Yeah, he's missing bits. You can see right through him.
So he needs to put
Ugh,
the bits back
a
on.
little spooky. Yeah. So
Yeah.
he eats a bunch of Americans, like 5, I think. And then he's like sexy hot again. And Rachel Weisz, they filmed this line too when they first see him in the crowd. Why am I blanking? Evie, Evelyn.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
We
Yeah.
just have been calling them only by the actors, except Jonathan.
Jonathan, I don't know his name. Jonathan and Ardith Bay, I guess, just because they're soulmates. And when the first time she sees him in full, she's supposed to say he's gorgeous, and I don't, for the life of me, know why they cut that out.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, he's wearing
because that would be the
loincloth.
reaction. Like you would be like shocked, like, oh whoa.
Hello.
Yeah.
Why is he so pretty?
Ugh, this movie's so unrealistic. I can't believe they cut the line where she said the mummy is gorgeous. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
It really takes me out of the movie when she does. Nobody acknowledges how hot this guy is. Nobody says anything.
Can someone point it out?
Like anybody,
Come
even
on.
Jonathan could be like, just like double take. That would be enough.
Yeah, and
just
you know
mention it a little bit.
Too.
Mm-hmm.
That man, like Jonathan, is one of the characters of all time. I love him so much because he's like kind of slimy, a little bit con man, but also he loves Evelyn so much.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not like shrinky coward guy. He's fully capable of doing stuff on his own. He's just maybe a little slimy in business dealings.
He just kind of doesn't want to. You know?
Exactly. It doesn't mean he can't. He's so
Mhm.
clever. Like when the zombies are coming at him, he immediately Looney Tunes it. He's like,
yeah. And it works
and it
like a
works.
charm. I was thinking too, even
So
earlier when they're on the
fast.
boat, the boat catches fire, and they have this key that like cannot be lost or stolen, you know. And so this guy's like attacking him. He's gonna drown or burn or be sliced in half by this guy. He's like attacking him, pushes the guy off the boat, and has the key, and you didn't even see it happen. And he's like, like it was no big deal.
No big. And then he has enough time to say Americans, because they're British. I love Jonathan. Every character in this movie is so hot, but also so much fun.
Yeah.
All of them.
And they all have such a distinct personality.
Yeah.
And that's
Very
nice.
rarely do we get one or the other. So it's really fun to get both all at the same time for everybody. I love that.
Finally.
Yeah, what a win.
Yeah.
It's so good. I mean, I just have a few more things. These are genuinely the only things that I thought were important enough to write down.
Okay, that's fine. I don't remember any of mine, so I think just go for it.
Good, okay. So the Magi were supposed to have tattoos completely cover all of their skin, but they didn't because they decided that the actor for Ardith Bay was genuinely too attractive to cover up. That was the reason. They were like, give him a few, but are you seeing this?
He gets like the tasteful, it's like, you know, when you put paint on your eyes when you're playing football so you don't get sunburned. Yeah. He has just those, and they're beautiful.
Yeah. He's the most beautiful man you've ever seen.
Yeah, he is. And you might think, you say that all the time. No. This one's real.
This one's so real. Oh my gosh.
Sorry, it's
he
true.
lives. He doesn't even die. You think maybe he's, oh my gosh.
There's a moment that he like, he's about to like
a match off of his like chin.
Yeah. He's like, oh, it's a little dark in here.
Unpack that.
And you're like,
hey, thanks, man. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And that just happens and nobody acknowledges it, but you notice it and you're like, oh, okay. And then later it seems like he's like sacrificed himself for the cause. And you're like, oh, it's over. But you get to see like the main three make it out. Yay, happy ending. And then he's back and he didn't die. And you're like, imagine thinking he could die. He could be killed by what? Like 200 zombies? That's nothing.
He's like the scene in Zoolander where he just turns around and his face is so beautiful it stops the thing in the air. That's, I think, exactly what happened.
I love Zoolander. It's so funny.
It's so funny. It's so funny. David Bowie's in that movie.
He is. David Bowie's in that movie. And I most recently watched it on a plane. And that's
a good place to watch it.
A really good time to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I love that.
Yeah.
One more fun Ardith Bay scene is when they're flying in on a plane to rescue Evie. And Jonathan is strapped to the wing and Brendan Fraser leans over. His name is Rick O'Connell. That's his name.
Yeah.
He leans over, he's like, you okay? We haven't mentioned that. No, but like, you ever met you like, that's the perfect character name, right? You see the name Rick O'Connell and you think that guy is an adventurer. He's a badass, but also
he's like an ex-cowboy who now lives in Europe. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's him.
That's him. He leans over and Jonathan is strapped to one wing. He's like, you doing okay? And Jonathan's like, I hate you. But then he leans over to the other side and he's like, you doing okay? And Ardith Bay is strapped to this wing. And Ardith Bay's like, wee! He's grinning so wide. He's so happy.
Because he gets to ride on a plane. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then in the same scene after, the Imhotep, the beautiful mummy, there's two things that I wanted to say about this one. Okay. Imhotep, the beautiful mummy, is making sandstorm to knock plane down out of the air. And Evelyn is like, what do I do? He's kidnapped her because he is like, you're going to be the perfect vessel for an Noxuna moon. I'm going to bring her back in your body. This is great. And she's like, I guess he thinks I'm an Noxuna moon. I'll kiss him. And so she grabs him, kisses him, and they're looking at each other like, what's going on? Like, it's not, you think maybe he's gonna get into it?
No, he doesn't get, neither of them get into it. It's not like a steamy kiss. They both are just, they like startle themselves.
Yes, they do. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
They're
so
fully
funny.
looking into each other. They spin around a couple of times, never breaking eye contact, not moving at all, just like squashed against each other. It's the funniest damn thing I've ever seen.
It's
I love
really
that.
good. And you can
Yeah.
imagine like behind the scenes, these are professional actors. It doesn't really matter. Like kissing people on screen is like whatever. But I imagine that this would be so funny. Like, how could you possibly make it through this scene? And you're like, all right, buddy. I gotta like move as little as possible.
Do the
That's
awkward shuffle
so
with me. We've got
funny.
to time it right so we don't separate.
That's so funny.
Also, if you're Emotep, you're kissing Rachel Weisz. If you're Rachel Weisz, you're kissing Emotep. So
Mhm.
like, there's
Who
got to be
again
a
has
little
a
bit of
name, but like
hysterical
whatever.
giddiness there. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah, it
Who
doesn't
cares?
matter. No.
Yeah.
The other thing about
Yeah,
this
so like you
scene, which
think
I
you're
think,
seeing these like two hot people kiss. And usually there's like maybe a little bit of a spark. Nothing.
no.
No.
Negative reaction. Even Benning's like, that was a little weird.
Yeah, he's
Not
like,
just because of the kiss, but because the kiss was a little, he was like,
yeah.
Benny's there, by the way. He's Emotep's like
Oh yeah.
servant
Henchman.
guy. We don't henchman. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
word.
Every movie needs a henchman.
That's so true. That's why if you think about our perfect movies, we've got like Flushed Away,
Henchman. Mm-hmm.
Henchman. I can't think of any other movies.
Yeah. There aren't any. Name one perfect movie, Flushed Away. Name two perfect movies, can't.
End call. The other thing I was going to say about this scene is they made it, they brought wind machines so they could make it pretend that he's making windstorm. But they had to reframe the shot because it kept blowing up his cape and just showing his bare ass. Why wasn't he wearing anything?
It's like it seems
He's
like they
wearing
could have
something in the
fixed
front.
that by just wearing something else. So he's just wearing like a
loincloth
thong.
in every other scene. I don't know. I guess. Did you know they make loincloth thongs? Why
They had to
this,
have it custom made, probably. They're like, nobody needs that. And then they saw him and they're like, okay, one person needs that. And they made it happen. Like, that seems like such a fixable problem. Like, you don't have to move everything and reshoot the thing. Like, give him pants.
Just give him, like, just cover the
Why
butt.
would they fix the solution? Why would they fix it the hard way? Why would you do that?
They wanted to keep his bare ass showing, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it was for the crew. Someone was like,
it's for
what
morale.
If we got him something else? What if we got him something else to wear? And they get punched out. They're like,
yeah.
Did anybody hear that? No. No, we can't. For budgeting.
Budgeting. But that wouldn't be historically accurate, you stupid idiot. You think they had fruit of the loom in ancient Egypt?
They had fruit and they had literal looms. That's all.
That's all.
That man, you know what he has? He got cake.
I thought it was like for morale. That they're like, it's been like a long day out filming in the desert, and he's like, I know what'll help. Let me slip into something more comfortable.
I was thinking about it, like he was almost a little bit oblivious to it. Like he's like, man, if I really gotta wear this, and someone was like, yeah, we don't have the budget for more loincloth. But I don't know which is funnier. That he knows damn well.
Yeah. He's like, no, that was my choice, actually. It helped me get into character. That's crazy. That is like such a non-problem. Like that's so easily solvable. Why would they do that?
I don't get it.
Oh my that's gosh. So funny.
I love this movie so much. That's all I have to say. Those are the only notes I wrote down.
Your note is like bullet point, bare ass. Bullet point.
Emotep booty. He's gorgeous in quotes. An artist bay.
And that's the movie.
Yeah. Really,
Yeah.
it is. It's also so funny. I don't know if we have talked about that point
Oh,
enough,
yeah, I
but
don't know if that came through. The reason we're giddy
looks to
about
me
it
like I've got all the horses.
looks to me like you're on the wrong side of the river. Awesome. Yeah, this movie's it's quite funny. And everybody gets a moment to be funny. It's not just one comic relief character. This is something that I was gonna say. Every character is the comic relief character. That's what I was thinking about when I was
Yes.
watching the movie. They're all funny. They all give us a little bit of respite from the movie, you know, because the whole thing is like, oh, scary. No, it's funny. Scary. Oh no, nice.
What?
It's just fun.
But also not in like an irony poisoned way. First of all, Imhotep plays this shit completely straight the whole time.
Yeah.
To him,
Oh yeah, he's evil. He really is like,
yeah.
I need to right this wrong. I need vengeance for my stolen love. Like
Mhm.
he's serious about it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then everybody else can be like, look at this thing, funny. And you're like, yeah, nice. That is funny.
And they don't do it in a way that's like, man, it's kind of weird. We're fighting a mummy, right? It's like, oh shit, we're fighting a mummy. Someone throw a cat at him.
Yeah.
They are in the universe, taking it as it is, being so ridiculously funny about it.
Yeah.
It's in universe that they're being funny. It's
Exactly.
not like
and
a
that's
little
nice.
wink at the audience. It's
yeah. It's not a fourth wall break that they're being funny. They're funny to each other.
Yeah.
Like Jonathan says something funny to Evie.
Yeah.
And that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he takes it really seriously, and Ardeth Bay takes it really seriously because he's like, do not sell marijuana to my husband. Like, don't go in there. Stop going in there.
Jonathan's
every
in the
single
back,
day I have
his
to
feet.
rescue these people from going in there. Stop going in there. And they're like, no, I'm gonna do it. You're overreacting. But he's not overreacting. He's taking it so seriously. And then later they're like, oh, oops. And he's like, oh my
They're
gosh.
like, is there anything we could do? And he's like, I literally told you 10,000 times what to do. It was to go away.
It's too late now. But yes, I'll save you anyway, because I'm a good person. Fine. I won't be happy about it, except maybe a little. But I won't.
A plane, you say? No, I'm cool about that.
No, I've ridden on planes.
I can ride on the wing!
Dozens of times. That's totally normal. It's not even a big deal. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Is it the perfect movie? Might be.
Hey.
Yep.
Name 2 perfect movies, flushed away The Mummy. Name 3, can't. End call.
Oh my gosh. It's just so damn good. There's nothing about it that could be possibly improved upon, except for maybe when they tried to do Tom Cruise The Mummy in like 2017, and then they accidentally uploaded the trailer. Most messed up audio. Do you remember this?
Only vaguely, but maybe I can find it. I hope I can, because that's like incredibly funny.
So dumb. But that was only like 2 minutes of being the funniest thing ever, and that was on accident. They didn't mean to do that, and the actual movie itself was so bad. I haven't seen it, and I don't plan to, because to me, The Mummy, the perfect version, happened in 1999, starring Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. That's it. That's all I ever needed.
Oh, okay. I think I can find it, but not right now. Life is hard. That's why.
Well, that's true. But you know what we have? Movie.
Yes. Wait, are you serious?
I'm dead serious, dude.
Yes!
We have movie. Not only do we have one movie,
that's awesome.
We have multiple.
So you can even have a different experience anytime you watch a movie because it's a different movie?
Potentially.
Wow.
Life
is beautiful.
It's big news. I'm just glad you're sitting down.
Yeah.
It can be overwhelming.
I'm using my religious / fertility artifact to sit on.
And see, this whole conversation is funny because we're pretending that we don't really know about movies. And then Olivia just said something that was a callback to a joke that she made earlier in the video. And so that's why it's funny. That's why like we're kind of laughing at
Right,
each
that's
other
why
a
it's
little
funny.
bit,
It's
so.
like a little history joke, but it's the history of this video.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hee hee.
That's all I had to say about the Mummy. It's so good. It's
I think
so
probably
good, dude.
me too. I had
Yeah,
the thing,
I
the
mean,
big
like,
brain thing of like maybe it's commentary, and I had every single person is the comic relief
Yeah.
character. And as far as I can recall, that's all I really wanted to say, though.
that's all you really need to say. Those are 2 banger points.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
The only thing that I think is kind of sad is, again, I haven't seen the sequel. Important to note, though, that Rick and Evie are married and they have a kid. You know the dumbass thing where characters get together in one movie and then the next movie they're
In the
broken
next
up
movie,
and then
they for some
they
reason
end up
broken up.
get back together at the
And
end,
it's
and
like,
it's like, yay, happy
why do
true
you
love.
even
And it's
break
like,
up
why
in
didn't
the first place?
literally?
And they never
That's
have
the
a good
dumbest thing
enough
in the world.
reason.
No, never,
Never.
never.
No.
It's always like a misunderstanding or like an argument got blown out of proportion or like nothing important. No, Rick and Evie O'Connell say, actually, we've been married happily for 10 years. We love each other so much.
Yeah. What do you mean?
all
Why
the
would we not
time,
be together
every
anymore?
day.
It's like a weird assumption you would make.
That's gross and a little bit icky. I'm gonna go kiss my wife for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
You
all I
better
know about
watch
the
out,
second movie.
buddy. I'm gonna have a happy marriage. Yeah.
And it is a little sad because they do rub it in Emotep's face because he comes back for the second movie and, as far as I know, is betrayed by Anaxuna Moon, who also comes back, and he just doesn't get a happy ending, and that makes me sad because
That's sad because
any
the
man as
whole point
beautiful as he is was that he loved
and
her so
the whole
much.
point of the first movie is that they love each other so much, and they're trying. This whole curse is like they're trying to get back together. That's their whole thing.
Yeah, doesn't make sense that she wouldn't love him just as much, and he just deserved a happy ending. Yeah, he killed the pharaoh. I mean, like, yeah,
He probably
he's
deserved
gonna
it.
die. She's like, my body is no longer his temple. That does not scream healthy marriage to me.
No. And
Certainly
it also
no Rick
doesn't
and Evie
say
O'Connell.
like I would rather kill myself than be with anybody but this man. But don't worry, in the second movie I'm gonna cheat on him. Like, what do you mean?
Boo.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
No. To me, he got a happy ending eventually. But that's just the vibes of that.
And there you have it.
Amen. The other thing that I was gonna say just real quick is that I've only ever seen Emotep in one other role, and it was when he appeared on Psych as a crime lord in prison, and Sean and Gus go to see him.
Yeah.
And I was like, hello, bestie,
Wow.
is that you?
What are you doing here?
Gus's
That's
real
crazy.
name,
I haven't
full
seen you
legal
since
name.
Egypt in '99.
And he looks the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. It's awesome.
Do you know we're like 1/3 of the way to being allowed to have members on our channel who pay for our content?
Whoa.
Can you imagine? Oh,
People
the
could
day's coming.
hypothetically pay for this.
That's his story, one of his like number one traumas of childhood. Another one is when the same cousin told him that that he wasn't allowed to drink orange soda because it was poisonous. And he was like, well, then why are you drinking it? He just, Carl Steven chugs like a bunch of orange soda and then pretends to die on grandma's couch.
What do I do?
He's like, ugh. And he like passes out. He's like flinching probably. This is how I imagine. I wasn't there because I was too little. But he's like, and so then of course this poor sensitive baby boy is like, my cousin just died of poison, and he starts crying. And he's like going to run to like tell the grown-ups like, oh, it's dead. But he wasn't dead. He was playing
So he's
pretend.
just playing a silly little trick.
Yes,
That's
he's
so
playing
sad.
pretend. Yes. And the funny result of that is that Ian really, really likes orange soda. It's
I'm
like a
glad that one
reverse
didn't ruin
psychology situation where, like, if you
it.
say a tomato is candy and then it's a tomato, I don't like it. If you say a soda is poison, but then it isn't, it's just pop, I'm like, ooh.
Don't mind if I do.
Yeah.